What's up guys, I'm here with another video. Welcome to episode 10 of Building Random Stuff. Today we're building a motorbike dealership. So, yeah. And today is the first day of October 2021. I'm pretty happy it's October. That means it's only 8 days until my birthday. So yeah. Hello, Jacob B Gay DOS 2 1847. Welcome to live stream. Sorry if I said your name. Sorry if I didn't say your name correctly, but I tried my best. So anyway guys, that's way more enough talking. Let's build a motorbike dealership. Brum, brum.
Hey, what's up YouTube? In this video, I'll be showing you how to make a motorbike shop. If you like this video, please do remember to hit that like button, as it helps me in the channel out very much. But without any further ado, let's get started. Here is the amount of space required to make your motorbike store, a 23 by 25 block area, as represented by the white concrete grid on the ground, which I would always recommend making if you are planning out your world. Here are all of the materials.
Okay, black glass pane. Definitely need that. Light grey concrete. Blue concrete. Smooth course slab, of course, I think. Pretty sure, yep. End rods. Yep, deep slate tiles. Oh, okay, deep slate tiles. Or deep slate, what is it? Alright, I need to find deep slate. Where is deep slate? Deep slate. I'm pretty sure it will be in decorative stone. Pretty sure it's deep slate bricks, right? Smooth stone, grey concrete.
We will be using throughout the build. Please do make sure that you have access to all those materials and enough of them as well. Step 1, if you have made the grid, come all the way over to the front left hand corner of it, and then count backwards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then right 1, 2. This is where we're going to start things off. Begin by placing 14 black glass going right. 1, 2, 3.
What number did you say? What is it? For 14?
2. This is where we're going to start things off. Begin by placing 14 black glass going right.
Yep, 14. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Then leave a gap of 2. 1, 2. Place a black glass, and then 4 light grey concrete. 1, 2, 3, 4. Extend the 4th light grey concrete up by 3. 1, 2, 3. And then left by 8. 1, 2, 3.
8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Place a black stained glass pane, and then 9 blue concrete.
9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Add another row of blue concrete on top. and then black glass paint on top of that. Now come all the way back over to where we placed the row of 4 light grey concrete extending up from the ground. Well, we already had 1, so we added 3, but regardless, it's still a row of 4, and then extend this end block up by 1, 2. And then you can even stick a little quartz slab on top of there if you like. What we also want to do is seal up this area here, so the light grey concrete that the black glass is connected to, we want to join that up, extend the black glass upwards as well, and also just on the opposite side here. The reason that this is significant is because this is the entrance, so just to mark that out, basically the area that would be the doors, so the glass that's on the sides here and then the open space in between, I want to have end rods that look like simple door handles, plus, I don't know, there's something about end rods that I just really like as doors.
Hey, Mum.
Yeah. Hi.
Hi, you're making my bed. Oh, my pillow. I am a messy. I'm very messy when I sleep. You guys sorry about that. I was just talking to my mum. Just gonna continue building.
So I don't know what it is specifically, so you can have them facing up or down, it doesn't really matter, it's a personal preference sort of thing. And we just want to have smooth quartz slab across the top of the area like this. And in doing that, I think that looks pretty cool. So let's move on to the rest of the build. The right side of the build here is actually relatively simple. So the top 2 rows of light grey concrete that extend up higher than this row here, we want to place a row of 8 glass. 1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Perfect. Perfecto.
Oops, 3. Hang on. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There we go. Hand-eye coordination at its finest. We want to have 2 rows of glass extending from those top 2 blocks, and then we want to have 18 rows. 1, 2, 3.
18. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. We want rows of 18 light grey concrete extending out from all of the rows underneath, and then we're going to fill in between the glass using the light grey.
Oh, sorry about that, guys. I sneezed.
And then later on, although we can do a little bit now, we can do the edges, we can add a little bit of smooth quartz slab on top. So then, across the back of the build, we can have a bunch of windows. Now, I'm not 100% certain that I actually even like these windows, but it makes sense that we can have like a little bit of variation around the build. So, on the back, basically, the scheme is this. We place light grey concrete, 2 glass. Light grey concrete, 2. Glass. Light grey concrete, 2 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 glass. Light grey concrete. Well, and then finally, the end result should be that we finally get to place 2 light grey concretes like this. So there should be, let's count these up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 windows in total. And these windows, by the way, they are 2 rows high in total, so we can make them 2 rows high. And then we can extend up the light grey concrete upwards like this. And then we can add glass extending up, so just like this. These windows are pretty much just present on the entire ground level. Everywhere that you might have an aisle between stuff, there's pretty much a window. So we're then going to make the rest of the height up using light grey concrete coming all the way up to the top, and eventually we'll have a quartz slab or row quartz slab across the top of the light grey concrete. So the sort of which should look like this. Then all we have to do to finish this off is we just have to extend forwards the light grey concrete here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Add 2 rows on top of this, so that would
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, that's 3. 4, 5, 6. That's 7. 8, 9.
1, and then that would be 2. And then we are going to place a glass pane extending towards the front. And then we can take the front left-hand corner of the build and we can extend it upwards using black stained glass pane. And it will join up and connect to the glass that we have already on the front of the build where we have the blue concrete, and it will join all the way to the back as well. So essentially what I'm saying is the remaining area on the left side here, and again the highlight coordination is so bad, and on the front of the build it's all going to be glass. So essentially what this shop is essentially a giant glass display case for all of the motorbikes. So I guess you could think of it like that. So we're going to place all of these. Too much left to do on the front. No, there's just a little bit above here as well. We've got a small window to fill in as well. So here and here, and then we can just fill this little window in.
Look at the video.
Just like this. And then we can add some.
Can you play with me, Alfie? You haven't played with Minecraft in a little while. You have to build the outside of your house.
Yes.
Smooth quartz slab all the way around the edge, because ultimately the entire roof of this thing is going to be smooth quartz, but first, now that we've kind of like laid this out, I'm very, very happy with this, by the way. I think that this looks pretty cool. But what we're now going to do is we are going to re-floor the entire area. So I'm going to dig out the entire inside of the store, and I think that I'm just going to do this on recording, because whilst it is quite a bit, I don't think it's going to take me just a few minutes. I'm going to dig out the entire floor, and then I'm going to replace it. We have to do underneath the windows also, so I'm going to dig. I guess that's bound to happen. I'm being very haphazard with these. For the floor, I am using some deep slate blocks. I'm not sure if I'm using the right. I might use something else. I might swap that out a little bit, because I'm currently using the deep slate brick. It's not even the right place. I'm using deep slate bricks, but I'm not 100% certain that I do like them. I mean, I've got a little test here. They're not bad. They're not bad at all. But there is a deeper variation of them. What I mean by deeper, there is a darker is the word that I'm using for. There is a darker variation, which I think I might like a little bit better. There's also a polished one, polished deep slate, I do believe, which has like an interesting texture. So we might grab that one as well, and we might just kind of compare. I think that I might have just grabbed the wrong one. I don't know whether intentionally or by accident, but I don't quite like the brick. So hang on. Oh, and also we're going to replace underneath these windows. I did consider blue. I always do as well. Underneath windows, I always consider putting like a bright colour. Maybe we'll do it this time. Like I always consider.
DIY is a humongous library of hands-on projects and how-to videos.
Bright colour, and then I'm like, nah. But on this occasion, why don't we put a bit of blue? We could even do it for the edge of the store as well, but it's easily changed later. For the back windows, it just makes them a tad bit more interesting. So, with the deep slate blocks, what else do we have? I mean, we have cobbled deep slate as well, which actually looks pretty cool. I'm just looking for an interesting texture, you know. I mean, we also have, in the terms of the deep slate that I might like, I mean, we also have the chiseled deep slate. That's what I'm talking about, not polished. We have chiseled deep slate, and we even have the that's what we've already grabbed. So I might use cobbled, just because I don't use it right. No, not cobbled, not cobbled. It doesn't look right. It doesn't look right. So why don't we go with the chiseled? And we'll see how that looks.
Let's see how this looks.
You see, that looks pretty cool. It's also darker, which I like, so it's pretty interesting.
That actually looks quite nice. I like the texture.
I don't think I've ever used this block before. It might not be the best choice. I might even change it towards the end. But bricks would also work very well. It's just, I don't know what, I just wanted to try using a different sort of block. I've been trying to use diorite more and stuff like that. I've been trying to use granite more in builds, you know, just to shake things up a little bit, because otherwise everything gets a bit too homogenized and it starts looking far too much the same, and, you know, I just want it to look a little bit different, and I think that the texture, and also not just the colour's nice actually, I like it. It's a bit of a gradient as well, like, you've got the nice dark on the edges kind of going towards the light. But it's also an interesting texture. I mean, this works, obviously, you can see the stone bricks, but if we have a look from the outside, yeah, doesn't that just kind of look a little bit more interesting? You can kind of just see it a bit better. I don't know. I'll let you guys make your own decision, but I kind of like that. So the next thing that I'm going to do is, there are 2 levels to the motorbike store. And the way that we're going to do this is that on the left side of the store, we have light grey concrete here, extending up from this row 3, and we're going to extend a row of 11. 1, 2, 3, 4.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Light grey concrete, and then we're going to join down to the ground. And then we're going to take this block, and then we're going to extend right by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then join down to the ground. And then we're going to hit this wall. Perfect. And that's all there is to it. So what we're then going to do is we're just going to add another floor in the form of the chiseled deep slate. Right? Chiseled deep slate? Yeah. I don't know why that didn't sound right in my head for some reason. Looking at this, I actually used a different textured block. I'm going to have to find it just for my own sanity. It might even be blackstone, but I mean, this works as well. So, I mean, there's always the option of changing, but I don't know why. There's just something about it. I just think it's interesting. But what did I use originally? It would seem as though I probably used just straight up deep slate tiles, which do look good as well. So, again, you're kind of going to want to change it up depending upon which one you like. The deep slate tiles definitely do look nice, I will say that. So, inside here, the way that we get up to the second floor is there is a staircase. The staircase is right in the middle of here. Well, actually, it's not right in the middle. Actually, it's on the right side here, and it's two blocks wide. So if you place a row of glass all the way on top of everything that we just placed on top of the row of light grey concrete, then the staircase will be just to the left of this pillar, and we're just going to have quartz block, and then we will have quartz stairs leading down to the ground. Inside of here as well, we will also have a counter space. This will begin just right of the doorway here, and it's basically just a row of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, just like this. And then on the wall behind here, I think maybe we'll use a bit of light grey concrete, or maybe we'll use a little bit of wall. Maybe this would look interesting. A row of 1, 2, 3 wall. Let's try those. And then we're going to have some bookshelves, and then we're going to have 3 quartz slabs on the wall, just like this. And we'll put some bookshelves and we'll decorate this a little bit later on. What I also want to have is, let's mark out some of the important things inside here. So grab the smooth quartz stairs and the pillar quartz block, and leading down from these smooth quartz, we want to have smooth quartz stairs, and then upside down underneath, stairs, stairs, just extending down just like this.
Awesome.
And it hit that counter, which I don't think it was supposed to do, so we might even have to move this over a row. Or actually, it doesn't even matter that it hit the counter, to be quite honest, because it kind of also almost makes the counter, a little bit closed on. But we could also, if you don't like the fact that it hits the counter, then you could shove the staircase an additional row over. It wouldn't be too much trouble to do that. So we could do this. And then we could, and again, it depends whether you care about these things. You know, we can just change things as we go along. So we can do that, and then we can re-grab the stairs. So I guess that way it does make more logical sense that you'd be able to walk around a little bit more freely. Inside of the store, we are going to have a bunch of displays for motorcycles and even a couple of mopeds. So if you start from the front left-hand corner of the store, you move inwards diagonally, you want to place yourself a quartz stair. Leave a gap of 3, 1, 2, 3, stair. Gap of 3, 1, 2, 3, stair. And then behind these, place 4 pillar quartz block, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then on the opposite side, some smooth quartz stair, just like this. And boom, there you go. And also, funnily enough, we want the exact same thing on the second floor. So if you can fly, if you're not making any sense of Bible, then you can see where you placed the previous rows, and then you literally want to come up to the second level, leave a gap of 1, and you want to do the same thing. So leave a gap of 3 in between all of these stairs, 4 pillar quartz directly behind, and then on the opposite side a quartz stair. So stair, 4 pillar quartz, and then on the opposite side stair, just like this. Perfect. And that's all there is to it. So that's where all the displays will be. The mopeds will be over there, and I mean that's kind of that's a good majority of the store laid out, or at least the inside of it. So the next thing that we're going to do is, whilst we've just got the materials, let's put an end to the outside of the store. So it almost sounds like we're destroying it, but I'm going to add a couple of rows of smooth stone on the left side. So basically just running up the entire left side of the motorbike store here. And I also want 2 rows leading all the way to the doorway. So here and here as well. So they don't want to come any further than the doorway because we're going to add a little bit of plant life, but the width of the doorway we are going to extend outwards, and this would connect to a street in any sort of way that you want. So if you wanted to then add a footpath in front of this, or if you wanted to connect to the road, how it kind of is with mine, do what you like, however it connects. On the left side as well, we're going to have a couple of rows of smooth stone so that you can kind of like walk straight around the store, so you can integrate it into your city. We're going to dig out this entire left side area, place it using grey concrete, because this is, well, I mean, this is twofold. I mean, actually, leave a row spare on the left and right side. So this is twofold. We can display bikes out here, or you could use it as car parking spaces, but not for very big cars. So, outside here, let's just figure out what we need just to finish off the outside, right? So we're going to need leaves, green terracotta, podzol, poppies, and then a loom, and then we're missing banners. Very important, but we're going to grab white dye, blue dye, and in the item
easy for kids to start coding and eat.
I am sure there will be banners. We need 9 of them, I do believe. So
let's grab all the dye, and of course we need blue dye.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So, well, not quite as many because we can reuse the O, but the leaves are for the 2 areas that we just left open. So we're just going to fill those in. We're going to use leaves on the right side of the build here, just next to the end. Friends, dig out in front of this, and we are going to replace the first and last row using green. Terracotta, if there's anything left to place it onto. green terracotta. In between, a bit of podzol, and then on top of that, the podzol, we will have poppies. And boom, there we go. Easy peasy. Looks pretty nice. It looks even better with bikes outside. Quite nice. You can even place the bikes in, so you can see like inside, right, where like the bikes are. The way that I would place the bikes outside, because it's got kind of like a cool effect that, like, if you look from the side, like all of the bikes would line up. I think it's cool, I don't know, but you can have like bikes here and then here and here, and it's almost as if, I don't know, it kind of just seems to go together. That's how I'm going to be placing bikes. I'm going to get rid of everything in the inventory except the loom. Well, now I'm going to get rid of the loom. So I'm going to throw the loom down. Move all of these over to the left, and we're going to start by making the first letter using the banners. So the So the first banner is going to be M. So that's white die, triangle at the top. Grab that, throw that out, grab the white die, put the blue die in, and the little triangles at the top. Grab that, put that in, throw the blue die out, throw the white die in. Vertical row of white on the right and the left. Grab that, there you go. And next would be O, the only letter that we get to reuse. So horizontal on the left, vertical on the left, on the right, and then horizontal on the bottom and the top. Feel free to slow down the video if I'm going too fast, but I've made banners too many times, like horizontal row of white across the top, and straight through the middle, straight down through the middle will be T. Then we would need O again, but luckily we can just reuse it. You may have to make it yourself. R is a horizontal. Row of white across the top, vertical on the left, and diagonal top left corner to bottom right corner. Then we have to make B, which is basically horizontal through every single part of the banner, top, middle, bottom, and then vertical on the right and the left. There you go, B. Next would be I. So there is a row of white straight to the middle, and boom, and there you have I. Next would be K. So BK, okay. So vertical row on the left, and then basically both of the diagonal rows. There we go. Then, last but not least, we would need E. So I'm just going to dump the blue die out because we don't need it for E. And then we just need a horizontal row through every single part of the banner. Top, bottom, middle, what am I doing with these? Top, middle, bottom, straight through the middle, and then a vertical row just on the left side. So, there we go. Perfect. So, on our blue side, our two rows of blue concrete, M-O-T-O-R B I K E. Motorbike. That's all it says. It doesn't say motorbikes. It doesn't say, oh no, Motormania. It doesn't say, it's not a particular brand of motorcycles. Literally just motorbike. And hopefully people get the message from the site. So, maybe it'd be cool to actually have. I'll float this idea with you at the end of the video because it does change things a bit, but it might be cool to have. So, can get rid of these now. Right? No? Are we? Why isn't my inventory disappearing? That's weird. Did they change it? Did they get rid of the feature where you can just dump your entire inventory? That's weird. X is supposed to usually... that's absolutely bizarre. Okay, well, anyway, I'm going to grab the polished blackstone wall.
A little bit of leaves around it for just some more nature. There we go. Look at that. Okay, let's grab polished blackstone walls.
And that's actually it for the outside of the build. So for the remaining inside the build, we're just going to grab bookshelves, we'll grab end rods, chain. paintings, armor stands, item frames, chests, and just a few other things. So, just for one row, polished black stone wall. Oh, there is also this. So, on the front left-hand corner of the build, there's just a row of polished black stone wall. And then, in front of it, or on top of it, and in front, we're going to have a row of quartz slab, and that kind of just provides a little bit of contrast between like the roof and the top of the building. Like, it just sticks out a little bit more. It just looks a little bit better. That's all there is to it. So heading on inside now. First of all, we're going to add bookshelves on top of these black stone walls. Not 100% certain about the walls, but it does look kind of okay. Hanging off of the shelves, I'm just going to add some item frames. It's just kind of like an interesting display method. Here, in between kind of this little area, I just want to add a poster. I don't know what... So, the thing is, paintings are very subjective. They can kind of be whatever you want them to be. Like, that could easily be a guy modelling a motorcycle, I think. Like, you know, the leather stuff that they wear and the protective clothing and gear. That could easily be that. So we're going to take advantage of the ambiguity, and we're going to place one there. And we're also going to place a bunch of these. We're going to be placing a bunch of these in between the motorbikes. So, well, maybe just two there, actually. And preferably we'll get different ones. There we go. And that's all there is to it. I'm going to re-grab the bookshelves. There we go, so just there. And then in between these, so like if I was to put the roof on, and we might have to put the... You know what, let's do that actually. It will just be a bit easier. I'm going to put the entire roof on, but you could... It's basically just in between the displays of the motorbikes. And the reason that I want to add the roof is because, like, where the motorbikes are on the wall, I want to add lanterns, like... in between them. Like, it kind of frames the posters. So that's why I would like new roofs, lanterns, and I'm also going to have some hanging lanterns as well for the display room and downstairs. That's going to be a mixture of, assuming you can do this in bedrock, if not there is a way around it, end rods with chains with then lanterns. That should be very possible actually, because chains are self-sufficient. They can kind of just go anywhere, which is what I love in a block, honestly. One that's not fussy, it can kind of just be placed wherever it lies. I'm looking at you, Candles. candles for you. So let's place all of that, and there we go. Perfect. So that, and the idea being that for the lower set of displays, I just want to have an end rod, so like lining up with where the stairs is. Or stairs are. I want to have end rods positioned at the front and the back of the displays. So that should be there, right? At the front and the back of the displays. You don't have to do it by eye. Like as we move left, it's a gap. As we move backwards, there's a gap of 4, so you can work it out, and then we can have chains hanging from off of these with then lanterns. It's not even that necessary for light, or at least for days. At night it will kind of highlight the bikes, hopefully. And oh no, it's kind of cool. Like whenever you go up to like a car place or whatever, or even like it just in shops in general. Sell like fancy stuff. It's kind of cool to like walk by at night, and it's kind of like obvious like what's being like lit up and highlighted, and it's the same sort of thing with that. So now that we've done that, we are going to add a couple of armor stands just behind the counter here. We'll display some like bike gear off of these. We can even have like a lantern over here as well, double chest, something like that. Just to look a little, just so that it looks used. On the left side of the build, we are going to have bookshelves. So these are going to be... Bookshelves are kind of the perfect block for they are aisles containing things. What are those things? I don't know, but there are items on these shelves. They make the perfect shelves almost. And we're going to have these shelves here, and then pretty much wherever we have these light grey concretes leading all the way. There should be 4 of these in total, leading all the way here, joined diagonally to the light grey concrete. And we might even make it so that... I don't think we're actually. So we're not going to make it so that we can walk around these shelves. I think that if you walk down an aisle, you're not coming back. So... It just looks kind of cool, and especially from the outside, it adds just another interesting element, and that's all there is to it with that. So now that we've done that, I did consider adding a window up here. So a window that is equal to. I don't think that's quite it. Yes, it is. So an equal is equal. Yes, it is. So an equal, the window is basically equal to the window in the entrance area. But the problem is that's not centered, is it? So did I destroy too many blocks, or did I go the wrong way? So Yeah, oh, I destroyed too many rows, so it's kind of like equal to the staircase and also to the entrance area, so just like that. There. Perfect. Nice. And then that might be... Well, the thing is, underneath here, you could keep going with... I'm in two minds about this. Like, we can keep going with kind of like the bookshelves, which I'd prefer, to be honest, because the other idea for this, that inside of this like underneath part, we could try and we could add like a display for some expensive ones, like we could make them out of like gold and diamonds and stuff. But what I imagine in a motorbike store, like obviously all of the cool stuff is on display, and then there's loads of stuff like if you wanted to buy bulbs, or if you wanted to buy equipment, or if you wanted to buy, I don't know, whatever you might need for a motorbike, then that's what else is going to be stocked. And the back of the store is just so perfectly laid out for the shelves that I just think it's better maybe just to keep it this way. So instead of having like loads of displays of like loads of random stuff, I think that we're just better off with this. So the next thing that we're going to do, and one of the last things really before we have to grab new materials, is we're going to grab smooth quartz stairs, weighted pressure plates, and black concrete. So over here on this desk, we're going to have a smooth quartz stair with a heavy weighted pressure plate like this. And if you want to decorate the area, this is a little bit of an extra thing, to feel free to just chuck flower pots and stuff. I mean, that's always good. You can even chuck other things on here, like you can chuck a crafting table about, like, if you want to really do, add loads more stuff inside here, like, feel free to customize the shelves with crafting tables and all sorts. I mean, don't just relegate yourself to things that aren't it, because if you wanted to, like, every so often, just use different blocks. And it might even make it look a little bit more interesting. But the thing is, I mean, I just happened to find the bookshop. Cool by themselves, like, but I suppose that it does add a bit of intrigue if every so often you do have a crafting table. I mean, I'm just using these as an example. Furnaces and stuff would work nicely too. Now I find that I'm just repeating that. I'm probably repeating the same pattern as well. Like, whenever I find that I'm trying to be random with blocks, like I always do like a pattern or something. That's okay, it doesn't matter, but you get the idea, and you could even make it a bit more interesting back here, really. Like a smithing table, obviously, and crafting table. It's like you're selling tools, of which you could then use to work on the motorcycle. You can even stack things here as well. Like, nothing has to be explained. You know, like everything can be kind of just as it is. Like, you don't have to be like, oh, that's this for this specifically. Like, a bit of imagination goes a long way. And anyway, coming back to this, let's figure out where all of the motorcycles are going. So, I mean, I've kind of already told you, but the method is this. So, outside, we're going to have motorbikes that are in line with all of the other displays of the motorbikes, and we're going to have black concrete at the front of the motorbike, and then there will be gaps of 1, 2, and then on the third block it will be another black concrete, like this. And on top of these, because these are wheels, on top of the black concrete will be weighted pressure plates, or heavy weighted pressure plates, or iron pressure plates, whatever you want to call them. The same thing will be placed on the display. So at the front and the back, on the front and the back 3/4 block, black concrete with heavy weighted pressure plates. Just like that. And these are basically just the wheels. And why are we just placing the wheels, you may ask? Because we don't have the other stuff. That's why, because we didn't have room for all of the other materials, so that's the only reason why. But I just wanted to kind of like mark them out to give you a good idea, because with the wheels, like, everything else is a little bit subjective, so I'll explain what I mean by that in just a second. Let me grab the remaining materials that we'll need to finish this build, and then we can get cranked. Okay, I think I figured out roughly what we're going to need to finish this thing off. So, we're going to start off by grabbing rails. Minecart. Levers. Buttons, and then a bunch of different coloured concrete. There's also different few variations that we can make, but we'll discuss that in a sec. So, every single one of the motorbikes needs a seat. So the seat is going to consist of a rail with a minecart. So you can actually get into the motorbike if you like. Every single motorbike will also have stone buttons on the sides of the wheels. So, just like this. Perfect. Then, the motorbikes need to have an actual colour, like this is where the tank would be, and this is where the handlebars are as well. So out here, I'm just going to keep it simple, like red, orange, yellow. And we're going to put levers on the sides of these, and this is about as simple as a motorbike you can make. You can make it even simpler by using either a slab or a stair for the seat, but if you kind of want to make it a little bit more immersive and using the minecart, there you go. That's your bog standard motorbike. Easy peasy. It doesn't get too much easier than that. So what we're going to do is we're going to come inside and we are going to apply all of the rails, the buttons, the minecart to every single one of the sets of wheels that we made earlier. There's 9 in total, so we'll get all of this done, and then we can, once we have applied all of these seats and all of the, I don't know what to call it, like wheel bearings. I don't know. It just. Makes it look a little bit more like a wheel at the end of the day, whatever you want to kind of like call it. So these seats and the buttons like this, not there. Oh, and on that side as well. See, it's easy to miss some. It really is. So here as well, and on here. Here too. Perfect. So that leaves us with a bunch of kind of like. It leaves us with a bunch of frames for motorcycles. So, well, our next job is to grab all the remaining materials that we might want to use to colour the motorbikes, and this is what gives them variation. And what you can do is you can use different concrete blocks, or you can also use terracotta.
See me highlighting.
As well, to kind of like add a bit of variation and make them look a little bit interesting, because of course motorcycles can often be painted, and they can have like decals applied to all sorts of other stuff. So it would be quite interesting to use some glazed terracottas and some other colourful blocks if you felt so inclined. I'm just making sure stuff. So it would be quite interesting to use some glazed terracottas and some other colourful blocks if you felt so inclined. I'm just making sure, or at least hoping that I'm not getting any repeats up here.
Yeah? Okay, in a minute.
And I actually really like the glazed terracotta versions a lot. I think that they look really cool. So you can have more of those, or you can have less of those, or you can do whatever you like. But now as we take a look from the outside, I mean, I don't know why, it just kind of, it looks pleasing to my eye that we've got a bunch of rows of motorcycles, each at kind of like different altitudes as well. I mean, that's only one block high, but you guys get the idea. And it just looks kind of cool, and you can, of course, feel free to make them any colours that you like, use any sorts of blocks that you like, and we can even kind of like, loads of different blocks work. So, for instance, like, what I'm going to be making up here...
Okay, you can have some lunch break.
Alright, guys, I'm gonna go have my lunch, so see you guys.